came to my 50th birthday, and I said, you know what? 30 and a half years, I think it's time to pull the plug. It's starting to be a young man's game, 50 years old. Go out on a high, and and so that's what I did, and that was 7 years ago. I enjoy experiences at different levels, and I did big game, and I've been to Texas and did some exotics, and this is right up there. I mean, it's great. Great people. The guys know what they're doing. The food is good. I mean, if you go away hungry on this thing, it's your own damn fault. It's good people. Everybody we're talking, we're all laughing when the birds aren't flying. Cracking jokes, poking fun at each other, and everybody gets along great. Started off in 1980. I joined the Minnesota National Guard right at the kitchen table. I was a senior in high school. Then did my summer after high school at Fort Benning, Georgia, infantry. I came back to Minnesota in the National Guard for about 2.5 years. Saw this commercial. It was during the summer, and they're advertising for the Coast Guard. And they had these boats crashing through the water, and I grew up right on West Battle Lake here in Otter Tail County, and always liked the water, but I didn't want to go to the Navy because I went to sea too long, and so I looked Coast Guard, and I didn't hear too much about that, and I wanted to try something different. So in 1983, I joined the Coast Guard. And, my first duty station was in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, in a small boat station. And, we had some ice rescues and stuff. I never got wet, but I was involved. In the National Guard, it became the rank of E7, and a program came up and said, well, if you're at E7, you have college. We're short on officers in the Minnesota National Guard. It's called a direct commission. And you have to have maturity. Well, by that time it's 30, maybe early 40s or something, so I guess a level of maturity might have happened. So they're like, okay, so I did all the paperwork, did all the tests, and they're like, okay, so back to Fort Benning I go. 20 years later, I'm going down there, and I'm running with all these guys direct out of Army Academy, and some of them weren't even old enough to drink, and they're like, you motivate me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I might not be the first one across the finish line, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to be the last. And I was running faster than some of those young punks, and it'd make them mad. And I was like, well, pick up the pace. Then my first deployment came along, and that was to Bosnia, and that would have been in 03, and it carried over to 04. I believe it was, and 9 days before we were ready to leave out of Bosnia, there's some riots going on in Kosovo, so they activated the company I was in, and we had to go over there for basically backup to help out if any riots. And thankfully everything kind of quieted down. There wasn't, it was just our presence was enough for everybody to settle down. We're like, okay, so now we get to go back home. And but while we were there, we got notification of another deployment to Iraq in 05. So I was home a year and a half, and I started dating this gal who now is my wife. Right before the Bosnia deployment, I get home, and I'm like, well, what do you think? And well, you're leaving again, and we had a great relationship, and things are going good. Okay, let's get married. So get married in July, building a new house, and get deployed in October. And she finishes off building the house. And then went to Iraq, and I was a scout platoon leader for about half the deployment. And this was in 2-136. So about halfway through the deployment, they started moving officers around to give them more experience in different areas. And I was appointed to XO Bravo Company 2-136 in Camp Fallujah. And, things went, we saw some stuff, we had some things go wrong, some individuals, but, made it through it and came home, and now I got transferred I got my captain almost as soon as I got off of that deployment. I got transferred to Camp Ripley at range control, and I was there for a couple of years, and name came up as to Afghanistan, and it was we were going to train the Afghans, the police, the Army, and the Border Patrol on counterinsurgency techniques. A lot of crazy adventures, you know, met a lot of great people, a lot of different areas. Quite a couple of oh shit moments, you know, combat environment, things are happening, that sort of thing.